It's time again to provide a list of the games I'm looking forward to in 2023. Welcome to Pass the Controller, or keyboard, or whatever peripheral device you use. Are y'all still saying Happy New Year at this point? I mean, it's the end of January, so you never know, but sometimes people go until March, but okay. As always, I'm going to give my disclaimer. Manage your expectations in both realms of possible delays and or bungled releases. Let's get into it. These will be in no particular order, of course. Beginning the list with one that clearly made the list last year, but it's okay. It's a brand new year. The day before, to be released on PC, Xbox, PlayStation. On March 1st, allegedly. The day before is an open world, massively multiplayer online survival game set in a deadly post pandemic America. How on key? Like, this is where we are, literally. Well, not really, but similarities are there. It's overrun by flesh hungry infected and survivors, killing each other for food, weapons, and cars. Chaos. And zombies, of course, is going to make my list. Clearly, this is a game that has been highly anticipated, and I've been waiting for a minute. My politic when it comes to waiting for games, I don't mind. It is perfectly okay. Do what you have to do to release a complete game. I hate to see games released that are on tops of people's wish lists and then unfortunately, torn down when it comes to reviews, day one patches, which is kind of inevitable, but yeah. We finally got some new gameplay footage at this year's Consumer Electronics Show to show off NVIDIA's RTX, or the ray tracing technology. It looks cool from the little short we were given, but we'll see soon, allegedly. March. Like, I feel so cautiously optimistic when it comes to it. So either way, like, if you need more time, feel free. Take that time. Is it gonna stay on my wish list? Of course. If I get it and it turns out to be other games shall remain nameless as far as like failed releases, but it turns out not to be what I expected. I mean, that's kind of give and take. It's essentially what you have to deal with when it comes to playing games. It's a toss up. You never know. Only some developers, and you'll see in a little bit, are more trustworthy when it comes to quality of content. And I'll leave it at that. Next up, Dead Island 2 to be released on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation on April 28th. More zombies, because why not? I love a good co op, especially when combined with humor. Or is it that I just miss Left 4 Dead that much? Yes. But anyway, this time the game is set in Los Angeles, so it's not really an island, right? I mean, we'll be in LA, which is always fun scenery when it comes to different cities, but I wish they would explore different places. I mean, it's okay. LA's not a bad environment. This sequel comes 12 years after the original. Isn't that crazy just to think of? Like, quick side note, like, am I the only one that feels like years have just been like passing in a ridiculous fashion? Okay, beyond COVID years and the pandemic, clearly these last two were, I can say three at this point. Blur, ridiculously hyper speed. Even though we were in it, it wasn't like time was really going by that quickly. At least for me on my end. But 12 years ago, the original Dead Island, that's like, wow. I mean, I can believe it, obviously, but it's just time flies, people. That's what I'm getting at. The sequel is supposed to be months after the original situation, while California is under quarantine due to the zombie outbreak, which is interesting because I'm more so wondering how. Well, then again, no. Let me not even do that because it could be like a period piece within that time frame, I'll say. So, the modernization of elements within the game aren't not going to be They'll be up to date, but not as advanced as we are now, even though it's really not that big of a difference from 12 years ago. We've made some leaps and bounds in technology, but we'll be okay, I think. The one thing I did want to point out, this is not by the same developer. Shout out to Techland and the work they did instead on the original Dying Light. We're gonna come back to that later. Yeah, but it looks like it'll be interesting and fun with the new dynamic environmental influences. So, getting into that, I just hope like it's largely melee based too, which is going to change in some instances, but I hope that it's not as sticky and clunky as the old one was. Don't get me wrong, we still played it, but I hope it's a lot smoother. Or they provided new experience for combat. Last and clearly never least this. I feel like this is on everybody's list. If it's not, you might wanna yeah. Spider-Man 2, a PS5 exclusive to be released in the fall. Big allegedly. Insomniac is gonna do it again, so I do not mind waiting. I don't care if it doesn't come out in the fall. We'll get there. We will get there, but the chance to play with Spider-Man? Corny, I know, but having the ability to play as Miles Morales and Peter Parker is gonna be a problem. I actually just finished replaying the first one a couple weeks ago. Still solid and a lot of fun. If you have not played Spider-Man, you need to play it. At this point, I don't know how you haven't played it, but do it. It's literally always on sale. I'll buy you one. No, I won't. But yeah, do it. Now, if they were to give us a co-op mode with those two, ooh, that's a tall task. But I'm sure they have that in their pocket somewhere for later. But for now, I'm really excited for this one. Venom has been confirmed so far, but I won't be surprised if we get a Sinister Six appearance. I'll say this is definitely the game I'm looking forward to the most. Will it make me break my word on buying a PS5 before they release a pro version? Tune in next time on Dragon Ball Z. But it might. It just because it's just like, yo, I've held that for so long. The exclusivity when it comes to these games and like the lack of on yeah, whatever. I don't even have to explain that. Do I? Should I explain it? Should I get into it a little bit? Yeah, I ain't got no game supply. And when it comes to new systems and stuff, obviously I want to not be the first adopter and get like the first one of them. Because the PS4 Pro is still kicking and doing well. So I felt like, yo, there's nothing that I really need to play, like, right now that has me hyped to the point where it's like, "Okay, it's time to retire the PS4, and let me just go ahead and get the PS5." But I want a Pro. We know what's coming clearly, but well, how soon is debatable because 'cause they're working on that one with the detachable drive, but what should have been released in the first place, like, "Yo, listen, when it comes to technology, stop releasing these halfway midpoint systems and nonsense. You just ideate that at the beginning and release that as the option for people to have because I'm pretty sure those who have the only, the all digital version would have liked the chance to possibly get their hands on, a removable disc option. But you know what? I'm not I'm primarily PC, but we're talking about looking at it through the lens of a mainly primarily PC person. It's just so dumb because it's just like you could have done you know what? Could have provided this to begin with. I don't know why they like having all these people or giving all these options for people and then kind of sunsetting systems that aren't even really old. I don't know. For me, I don't like waste. So that just frustrates me. And to make it a more seamless experience, you're not wasting freaking technology, and do you really have to put out a console just because your competitor did? No. You wanna get next gen, I understand. You're the sunsetting of systems is pretty quick these days, but when it comes down to it, technology as a whole when it comes to consoles needs some fixing. You guys are getting very close to the, mini home PC range, which is fine, which I don't mind. But at the same time, you can't give people that many options because you need to release a solid system that just works because a lot of people don't want to deal with what we have to deal with when it comes to all of the extra, parts and pieces. It's not a lot, but I understand. You just want to plug and go, which you can honestly do on both. But be like me and play what you want to play. Don't be elitist when it comes to picking or choosing. Just play both. That's it. That's all. Nobody's going to bother you. I'll laugh at you if you try to say that such and such is better than this, but that's about all the energy I have. I don't have no more energy to have a heated debate and discussion about why such and such is better than this. It's just preference, people. Relax. And that was G's word for this week. I hope you appreciated my little mini rant about whether I will get a PS5 just to play Spider-Man 2. I'm thinking about it. The exclusivity, yeah, it only lasts for so long, but at the same time, I want to play it because it's one of my favorite developers. I can't even front. That would very much so influence me, but we're gonna hold out hope for the Pro for another year. I knew it wasn't coming out last year because, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, it just aligns well to the point where they can actually release a console that is a true collaboration with the game and not just a skin on the box of a PlayStation. Let me not be shady to the people that actually bought that. But you know who you are. If you got a good deal on it, cool. But other than that, yeah, technology. Stop wasting stuff, people. Yay. Now, recapping last year, I'm still waiting on Redfall. It's been pushed back to May 2nd, another big allegedly. This is the co-op first person shooter centered around vampires. Looks really cool, but I'd like to play it. But again, it's fine. I have patience. I'm not angry. It's okay. Take your time. We need a decent co-op that actually lasts more than 3 weeks to play with one another. And I will leave it at that because I can name so many games that released, big hype, played them. This is boring, and they died. And for me, even if the people I tend to play with, like I sometimes if I'm doing like my achievement thing or I want to just 100% complete a game, I'll do it by myself or just pick up pubs here and there just to get it done, but it's not as fun. You want that co-op to be long lasting and have that replayability to where you already know what it is when I log in. Like, you ready? Boom, you already get the invite to the game. Where is that? Where is that excitement? What? This is terrible. People got me out here playing Call of Duty. This is how like grim it is right now for multiplayer online games. This is not, and that's a huge caveat. I'll have to have somebody on for that discussion. I'm gonna make them interview me on that because, like, if you know me, you know I'm more so a big watcher of people just playing that. Because when it comes to me and first person shooters, that is not my favorite at all. That is not even probably on my list of favorites. And a lot of my past favorites honestly fell off because the whole system of paying to play, unfortunately, and then the oversaturation of in-game content, which I understand. You have this game that's still in development, but it just don't hit the same because you got too much going on. If you know what game I'm talking about, go ahead and leave that in the comments. I want to see. I'm very curious. Very, very curious to see if anybody knows what it is. Or if any of them are. Because there's a couple, but that specifically spoke to one that was like major favorite for me. The feelings, the passion. Give me a solid first person shooter, please. That's the only thing. I'm not gonna say I'm not patient on. I'm very patient, but I just need one that's just like great and it's good. Game companies feel they need to create content that just it's not green. I don't even know what they want these days because they'll create a game, forget about it, and then start developing something else. And it's just like, yo, this game could live with the proper support. All right, let me get off the second soapbox. That was my second soapbox and ran for the week about the lack of replayability in first person shooters and quality when it comes to Maintenance. All right. Now, going back to last year's entries, if you remember, Dying Light 2 was my other one. But yeah, we off that. This is a prime example of games that I was talking about that didn't really live up to the hype. And the hype was caused by them because I feel like the promotion and everything that were shown didn't quite align, at least for me in my experience. And I would highly recommend just play Dying Light, the first game, and call it a day. You're welcome. Should I tell you my horror story about that? You know what? I am going to tell you my horror story about this game. The reason that I go so hard against this, more so, is because save data. See, when I lose save data in a game, sometimes I'll be mad. Of course, it's you lose the save. It's like, working on a freaking report and you didn't hit save in Word or something. Like, it happens, but autosave is there for a reason, right? Wrong. So that failed me. Not only were we at, I want to say, damn near 95% completion. Like, we literally just had the one mission left, and then we were just going around just doing other stupid side missions and stuff, making sure that was wrapped tight. Came back into the game, gone. Yeah. And it wasn't user error either, because clearly, when it comes to autosave and saving cloud, yeah, you trust in the system. But I do backups of everything. Nope. But have you tried? Yep. But what about? It's okay. Just play the first Dying Light for me, please. Mechanics wise, parkour, story, solid. Still one of the most solid zombie games that is story based. Very much so fun. But fingers crossed for solid releases this year. I'm not too impatient on the pushbacks because there is always something to play. According to y'all and how y'all answered my poll, you all do have some backlog in your libraries as well. Whether they're installed or not, start just chipping away at those and completing those so you can actually, goal set for yourself and feel like a sense of this was actually worth my money and it's not just in my library collecting dust. Whether if it were a gift or not, just play your games. Hopefully, you enjoyed my entries for 2023, Pass the Controller, and have some of your own to share. Maybe this time we'll keep it to top 3 faves and or top 3 misses to keep it light for you all. If you can do 5 each, feel free. I'm not going to limit you, but just, I always have to give some sort of homework assignment. Be sure to connect with us with the Spotify poll and Q&A sections, leaving your most anticipated games for 2023. You can also do so on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or directly on verbalvibemode.com. Or you can even leave a voicemail using the Anchor app. All links are in the description box. Peace.